Welcome back to WorthCoin, your go-to channel for everything numismatic. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of silver Washington quarters. These iconic coins hold not just historical value, but can also be rare treasures for collectors. Stick around as we reveal the top 5 silver Washington quarters that every collector should know about. First up, the Washington Quarter series began in 1932 to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, this coin's iconic design, featuring Washington's profile on the obverse and a majestic eagle on the reverse, has remained a mainstay of American currency for decades. By 1967, however, the economic realities of the time had shifted the coin's composition away from silver. In the mid-1960s, rising silver prices led to widespread hoarding of coins, creating a national coin shortage. In response, Congress passed the Coinage Act of 1965, which removed silver from dimes and quarters and introduced a copper-nickel-clad composition. The 1967 Washington Quarter is composed of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. This change ensured the affordability and availability of coins for everyday transactions. The 1967 quarter was struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. But, like other quarters produced between 1965 and 1967, it does not bear a mint mark. This was a deliberate decision by the US Mint to discourage hoarding during the coin shortage. Consequently, there is no way to distinguish between quarters struck at the two facilities. In total, the Mint produced over 1.5 billion Washington quarters in 1967. Given this high mintage, most 1967 quarters found today are common and worth only their face value in circulated condition. However, coins in fine condition, those showing light to moderate wear with well-preserved details, may hold some collectible value. Quarters in this grade are often sought by beginner collectors or those interested in assembling year sets of US coins. For higher-grade examples, such as coins in uncirculated or mint state condition, values can range from $5 to $25, depending on the coin's luster, strike quality, and overall appearance. Coins graded MS65 or higher by professional services like PCGS or NGC are particularly desirable and can fetch even higher prices, especially if they exhibit exceptional sharpness and minimal imperfections. Era coins from 1967 are another area of interest for collectors. While errors from this year are not as common as those from other periods, examples such as off-center strikes, double dies, or coins struck on incorrect planchets can add significant value. Depending on the type and severity of the error, these coins can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you suspect you have an error coin, it's worth having it evaluated by a professional numismatist. The 1967 Washington Quarters serves as a historical reminder of the economic challenges and solutions of its time. While it lacks the intrinsic value of earlier silver quarters, it represents a practical and durable solution to the coin shortages of the 1960s. For collectors, it offers an opportunity to explore a fascinating chapter in US coinage history. Next up, the Washington Quarter series was introduced in 1932 to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday. Sculptor John Flanagan designed the coin with its iconic profile of Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. By 1982, the coin's composition had long been changed from the original 90% silver to a more economical copper-nickel-clad composition, which was implemented after the Coinage Act of 1965. The 1982 Washington Quarter is composed of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. This durable and cost-effective composition became the standard for quarters and other coins like dimes and half dollars. The shift to copper-nickel-clad helped the US Mint manage rising metal costs and ensured the continued production of coins for circulation. In 1982, the US Mint produced quarters at both the Philadelphia and Denver facilities. Philadelphia coins lack a mint mark, while Denver quarters are marked with a D. Combined, the two mints struck hundreds of millions of quarters that year, 504 million in Philadelphia and 480 million in Denver. As a result, the 1982 quarter is generally considered common, though it holds some interest for collectors due to its historical context. One notable aspect of 1982 quarters is the absence of proof sets for collectors. The Mint did not produce standard proof sets or uncirculated sets in 1982 and 1983, leading many collectors to seek out high-quality coins from circulation. This makes well-preserved examples from these years slightly more desirable compared to other modern quarters. In fine condition, a grade indicating light to moderate wear with well-preserved details, the 1982 quarter typically holds little numismatic premium and is valued at or near its face value of 25 cents. However, higher-grade coins in insignificant values can fetch more significant values. For example, coins graded MS65 or higher by professional services like PCGS or NGC can sell for $10 to $25, with prices increasing for coins exhibiting exceptional luster and strike quality. Next up, let's take a closer look at the 1988 Silver Washington Quarter, which was part of the ongoing U.S. Quarter series. The Washington Quarter, featuring the first President of the United States, George Washington, was introduced in 1932 to commemorate his 200th birthday. This coin has seen many different designs and changes over the decades, but in 1988, it remained part of the standard series that collectors still hunt for today. The Washington Quarter originally replaced the Standing Liberty Quarter and became an iconic symbol of U.S. currency. Since then, it has been minted with various designs, but the version we're looking at today is part of the general circulation quarters from 1988. So what makes the 1988 quarters special? Well, in terms of metal content, this is where it gets interesting. The regular 1988 Washington quarters, like most quarters minted since 1965, are made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, which means they aren't silver. However, there were some special collector's editions of silver quarters struck for sets, including the proof and silver proof versions. These silver quarters contain 90% silver, but the ones circulating in 1988 were not silver. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see an eagle perched on an olive branch, just like in earlier Washington quarters. It also says E pluribus unum and $quarter, denoting its value. But despite its relatively standard appearance, it's important to remember that the 1988 Washington Quarter holds value for collectors, especially in fine condition. Now, when it comes to determining the value of a 1988 Washington Quarter, it all comes down to its condition. If you have a coin that's in fine condition, you'll see some moderate wear on the design, but the details are still clearly visible. In this state, the 1988 quarter is typically worth just a little more than face value, around 25 to 50 cents. However, if you have a higher grade coin, say a coin in uncirculated condition or a proof version, the value can jump considerably. An uncirculated 1988 Washington quarter could range from $1.25 to $3 or more, depending on market conditions and demand. For those silver-proof coins which are much rarer, they can fetch anywhere from $10 to $20 or even higher if graded well. So, if you're looking at your 1988 quarter and wondering about its worth, be sure to check its condition carefully. Coins that show little to no wear will be more valuable in the long run, especially when they are well preserved. To wrap it up, the 1988 Washington quarter is a key coin for collectors, but its value is largely dependent on its condition. Whether you have a stack of them or you're just starting out as a numismatist, always remember to check the grade before assuming how much it's worth. Next up, the Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. Ever since then, the design has gone through a few changes, but the 1984 quarter is part of the regular series and features the classic design that has been in use since 1932. The front, or obverse, shows the profile of George Washington, the first President of the United States, and the words, "Liberty, in God we trust, and the year of minting." This is the hallmark of the series that continues to this day. On the reverse side, you will see an eagle perched on an olive branch, which symbolizes peace, strength, and freedom. The coin also features the words, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, and $quarter, indicating its value. Now, let's talk about the metal composition. The 1984 Washington quarter, like most quarters struck after 1965, is made from a copper-nickel-clad composition. That means it doesn't contain silver. The coin is 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, which gives it a durable and solid feel. Unlike some earlier quarters, which were made of 90% silver, the 1984 coin doesn't have that precious metal value, but it still has its worth as a collectible and part of the regular US currency. So, what is the value of a 1984 quarter? In general, these coins are worth about face value, which is 25 cents, if they are in circulated condition. However, their value can increase depending on their grade and whether they are in uncirculated or proof condition. A coin in fine or average condition might be worth just a little more than face value, around 30 to 50 cents. But if you have an uncirculated coin, one that has been kept in pristine condition without any wear or damage, it could be worth $1 or more. Additionally, if you happen to own a proof version of the 1984 quarter, which was specially made for collectors, the value can be higher. Proof coins are struck with extra care and typically have a shiny mirror-like finish. These can range from $5 to $10, or more depending on their condition and rarity. For those looking for a rare and valuable piece, the 1984 silver proof version, which was part of a special set, could be worth around $20 or more, especially if it's been professionally graded as being in excellent condition. Next up. It became one of the most recognizable coins in the United States, and since its debut, the design has remained largely the same. The 1980 Washington quarter is no exception, maintaining the classic portrait of George Washington on the obverse, or front side of the coin. On the obverse, you will find Washington's profile, surrounded by the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the year of minting, which in this case is 1980. The design was created by sculptor John Flanagan, and it has remained on the quarter without major changes since its introduction in 1932. Turning the coin over, the reverse side features an eagle perched on an olive branch, symbolizing peace and strength. You'll also see the inscription E pluribus unum, which translates to out of many, one, and the words $quarter, denoting the coin's face value of 25 cents. Now, let's talk about the composition and value of the 1980 Washington quarter. Like many of the quarters minted after 1965, the 1980 quarter is made of a copper-nickel-clad composition. It consists of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, which makes it durable and resistant to wear. Unlike earlier quarters made of 90% silver, the 1980 coin does not contain any silver, which means it doesn't have the same precious metal value. In terms of its market value, the 1980 Washington quarter in fine condition is worth slightly more than face value. A coin in fine condition shows some wear, but most of the design details, including the features of George Washington and the eagle, remain visible. Typically, a 1980 quarter in fine condition might be valued at around 30 to 50 cents. If you have a 1980 quarter that's in higher grade condition, such as uncirculated or mint state, the value can increase. Uncirculated coins are those that have not been used in circulation and show no signs of wear. A well-preserved 1980 quarter in uncirculated condition could fetch anywhere from $1.50 to $3 or even more, depending on the market and demand. Proof versions of the 1980 quarter, which were specially minted for collectors, can be even more valuable. These proof coins have a polished, mirror-like finish and were struck with more care to provide a higher quality result. A proof version of the 1980 Washington quarter could be worth anywhere from $5 to $10 or more, depending on its condition and whether it has been professionally graded. Although the 1980 quarter is not made of silver, there are still certain versions that collectors seek out, including proof coins and any examples in pristine, uncirculated condition. Additionally, some quarters may have minting errors or unique characteristics that could increase their value in the collector market. To wrap it up, the 1980 Washington quarter, while not a silver coin, still holds value, especially for collectors interested in well-preserved examples. In fine condition, it might be worth just slightly more than face value, but if you have a higher grade or proof version, you could be looking at a coin worth a few dollars or more.